Pretty good idea to keep these warm while you're going down the road.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cold this morning.
Pulled out my best comforter off the bed.
Yeah, I don't think Grandma's gonna be really happy with the fact you're using this thing on it. It's going down the road.
We didn't want him to shrink up for being cold, you know what I mean?
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
Explain. Come on, bud. Yeah, you do. Don't lie.
We are back for another episode of Building the Nantahala Retreat. We got a ton of stuff going on today, like usual, all culminating towards finishing this house.
Culminating,
That was a big word, I think, for this early.
Yeah.
So we got our prefab window frames that Jaime made at the shop. We're gonna put those in. We're gonna start the hardwood. We gotta figure out all of the bullnose situations around the stairs and the edge of the loft and all that. So we better get started.
So what are we doing?
Floors, were you not standing right next to me when I was like, hey, we're back for another episode of...
I didn't know I was
You were
supposed to be
standing
listening.
right where you are.
I didn't know I was supposed to be listening. You didn't tell me to listen.
But before we got going on the floors, we decided to get these high window trims put in so that we could get this scaffolding out of here as soon as possible. And I call that the top-down technique, which sounds smart. One great thing about having these window trims prefab like this is it takes a lot less nails to install this whole unit because it's all screwed and nailed together than it does to install each board individually. So there's less nails to fill and less nails to see in the finish.
Are you recording?
I am now.
And commenting? One thing we did here is we set the middle window first, but then we just tacked it with one nail so we could shift it back and forth. And I was siding up this plane here to make sure, you know, it lines up. And I'm gonna have to bump it this way, the middle one. So that's a pretty key thing you need to do if you're doing a multiple window pack like this, is just tack some of them, get everything in, and just sort of sight and see what needs to move where.
You can see in this shot, we actually had to push the center window trim up as high as we could get it tight to the framing to make the tops of it line up with the tops of the two side triangle windows, and that's what we were looking for. And on the center window, we just used a long level across the bottom of the trims to align it with the bottom of the side windows. If you're wondering, we did pre-stain and pre-finish these trim boards with 2 coats of poly over the stain, and it took us only about 20 minutes to install this whole window section, which is super fast compared to any other way I've ever done it.
Yeah, that's sucked it in.
The paint can fits right on this little circle on the ladder.
Yeah, I think they designed it that way. Just like they designed those glasses for your grandma.
They are my mother-in-law's.
Okay, just checking.
Hey, I got bad eyes, bro. I can't help it.
Jamie's gonna explain something about these windows.
No, I'm not.
We're all counting on you here.
No, I'm not going to do it. Well, see, I had a list of like 65 good reasons to pre-build your window frames.
And I said, well, you can go with a maximum of 3.
So we narrowed it down to 3, but then it got cut to 2.
You're welcome, everybody.
So you get the 2 best reasons, and they're really good. If you're wondering why we build these window trims in the shop and then bring them to the site, I'll tell you why. A couple of reasons. It's better than building them in place, I think. That's how we used to do it. We would cut one piece, nail it in, measure the next piece, nail it in. It's really not very fun, actually, and it's hard to keep everything aligned perfectly with the edges of the vinyl window or wood window.
And also, if you're upstairs, you got to go up and down and up and down and up and down every time you're measuring and cutting.
When you're building these on a table in the shop, you have access to the entire frame. You can shoot everything from the outsides in, and then you can pocket screw the face frame to itself, and you have access all the way around the thing to make sure all the joints are tight and strong. One of the most important things to do, if you do this yourself, is to undersize your window trim unit from the framing size. So I make mine at least 1/4 inch smaller in any and every direction. Some of the windows are triangles, so you can't just say it's like, oh, left and right. You always need to undersize. That gives you room to slip it in without a struggle, and then it gives you room to actually move that and align it with the window. That's very important. I wish I was smart enough to do this on my own house when I built my house. Like, when I look at them now, I'm like...
And just for you, Jamie, I'm going to show everybody how you built these things in the shop. With the measurements that Jamie took from the job, he pre-cut all of the face trim boards and pre-drilled holes in the back with this Craig jig to actually pocket screw the face frames together. Then the face frames were aligned using clamps and they were pocket screwed together. And this is a good, simple kind of joinery you can use on a lot of different projects when you have a way to hide the back of the material like this. Next, all of the jam extensions are ripped to width based on the numbers he took from the job site as well, and these are assembled using 2.5 inch 16 gauge nails and glue from the back. And lastly, the unit is assembled. The face frame is actually square due to the cuts being square and the pocket screws pulling it tight, so we can actually just use it to square up the whole unit. The face frame is shot down with a 1/4 inch reveal using brad nails, and this one's done.
It's time for flooring.
Who's with me?
Who's coming with me? Nobody. We're gonna chalk a line to start with, and that's really important that the chalk line and the flooring is actually running parallel to the walls in your house. So when we start here and get to the other side, it's not this like big angled rip against that wall, right?
Unless you're going for that angular look.
No, we're not.
You know?
We're going for a good looking floor. So one thing we always do, and this could be a pro tip, is that we check off of the wall, the exterior wall. There's my chalk mark. There, 5 7/8. And I make a mark down here. Check this out. 5 7/8. To double check that, the next straightest thing throughout this whole house is actually the seams on our subfloor. So what I'll do is check that now. About 15 1/16. What you got down there, Jay?
15 1/16.
Okay. So basically we've double verified that if we chalk this line, it's as parallel to the main line of this house as it can be. So we're good with that. We're gonna roll with it. Once we stick this floor down, you cannot adjust it.
Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
I think I just heard it. God, that's so loud.
What?
Here's something you might run into if you're cheap like us and get a free pre-hung door that doesn't have the right depth jamb. You see that?
Free hung door?
Free pre-hung.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is great. It's a nice fir solid wood door. The jam's not the right depth though. So we're gonna actually have to rip this first row of flooring so that right here, you actually get that nice full piece that ducks into the jam just a little bit. And that's what we're gonna have to do to make this look okay. Jason, he wasn't okay with us just putting...
No, I want to put a full piece and a little nibble in there. I'm like, come on, bro, we're professionals, man, come on.
So we're gonna rip the rest of the first row just so this looks like a full nice board right here. And we're actually gonna have to, you know, fur out all these jams with a little bit thinner piece of wood here, so it'll go behind the hinge. And that'll be fun too.
Fur it out.
Are you really volunteering to be the glue guy?
Dude, I don't have to walk, so.
Okay, let's flash back to last time.
Yeah.
You lost all of the hair on your knees.
Yeah.
You lost the section of your beard got the glue in it.
My beard is longer now, so I'm kind of worried that it's gonna end up getting in the glue.
Well, we'll keep everybody posted on that.
Yeah.
Okay, on a serious note, sorry about all the goofing around, folks. We're using a Shaw wood floor glue adhesive. We're using a V-notch trowel to put that down, and this is the wood flooring. It's a 1/2 inch engineered. That means it's made out of layers. See that? Of basically like a plywood with a real wood veneer on top.
The engineered floor we're using here is actually almost 8 inches wide, which is great. We've put down plenty of solid hardwood floors in the past that were only 2 1/4, and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere as you're going row by row. Engineered wood products can be a lot wider because they're a lot more stable. The layers of the plywood in this have alternating grain directions, which keeps the material from cupping, which isn't the case with solid hardwood floor. I wouldn't recommend going more than 4 1/4 on a solid 3/4 hardwood flooring. The directions on the box says glue or nail, but we choose to glue and nail because the tongue on this engineered wood is not very strong or very thick, and I just don't trust those tiny nails in that tiny, thin tongue, but the nails are nice to help pull it tight and keep it there until the glue dries.
You know what my main goal is today?
Not to get any glue on you.
That is the only goal I have.
And it doesn't work very well.
Look at that already. Once it gets on you, it just like multiplies.
Jonesy there's got you a pro tip. See what he's doing there is he's cleaning out any excess mud because we're stopping for lunch. So if you stop for any period of time and that glue gets hard right there on the edge, you'll never get the next piece.
You're done.
You're done.
You know how many pro tips we had in the last video?
How many?
It was like pro tip of the day, like 5 or 6. It was like one after another. So.
Were they any good ones?
I don't know.
Nobody probably watches it anyways.
One very important installation tip that I would give is do what Ray's doing. Only glue for one row at a time, and that helps to keep you from getting in the glue. If you have glue spread out enough for several rows at a time, you're much more likely to get your foot in it or your hand in it or a board in it and get that glue transferred onto the surface of the finished floor, which is not good. Some of these boards went together super easy and some took a lot of force. Jason likes to just stomp them in, but I'm sure his knees are going to be blown out if he keeps that up. Another pro tip here is to really look at each board you put in. You can see here, I actually noticed that the corner is chipped off, and luckily it was before it was nailed. Otherwise, we'd have to take up a bunch of rows to get back to this board later. It wasn't long before we realized teamwork was important on knocking these longer boards in quickly, so Jason and I did the daily double on all of the long pieces on this floor.
Oh man, our timing got off.
We should probably work on that.
We gotta try again. I got the Jono view here. This is what he's seeing.
It's like watching primates inside the zoo in here.
A few important things that we were doing mainly off camera is to actually prep ahead of putting the glue down, and that was vacuuming, setting any of the subfloor screws that were proud with an impact driver, picking up any debris that the vacuum left that would hold a piece of flooring up, and just generally checking that the subfloor didn't have any humps or bumps in it, and that will lead to a nice flat floor.
I really gotta brag on this Advantech X Factor subfloor that we used, the yellow stuff. Honestly, we usually have a little bit of swell at the joints. Even with the regular Advantech, we had none here. We didn't have to go around with the planer and flatten things out before we started laying this floor, which was nice.
What's worse, floor or tongue and groove?
I don't mind either one of them. Painting. I call painting the worst.
There was this daddy long legs, and he just he kept getting in the glue. We kept setting him out.
He had glue on the end of his leg,
and he just
was
kept coming back for more.
So I broke off just a little bit of his end leg so he could walk. And I put
and then he walked
and then he walked right back into it. Dude, he was a glutton for punishment. I don't know, he just missed us or something.
Pretty banging day right there.
Yeah, we got a lot done.
We did, almost probably half the floor that we have to do on the main two floors. There were some real heroes today.
Me and Jason?
No.
Bro,
the real
anyone
heroes,
that watches the channel knows that answer.
All right, the real heroes were the tools that made it easy. This guy is like a plastic, like a hardened plastic beater block. And I'm telling you, this is the first day I've ever used it. It doesn't splinter like wood. It's large enough, like deep enough to just grab it and hold it without getting your fingers in the glue. It doesn't shatter into a million pieces. The glue cleans off.
You know what's crazy is it's been in that box every time we've done floors and we never knew what it was. And John was like, why don't you try this beater block today? And we're like, wow, that thing's great.
That's like a pure hunk of gold to me now. That
nice.
is fantastic. And as always, the flooring jack, that thing is always a hero. Getting the wood tight around the last row against the wall. Hey, can you grab that one too? Trash trailer.
I don't think this glue is very good.
It's glued to the rug.
I don't think the glue works very well.
It works fine.
Well, I don't think it does.
Thanks for building with us today. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate our sponsor, Magic Spoon. And if you guys don't already know, these sponsors make it possible for us to take all the extra time out of our workday to make these awesome videos. If you're not familiar with Magic Spoon, it's a great tasting cereal, but it has 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. It also only has 140 calories per serving. And this is all great because a lot of mornings I need a quick breakfast so I can get down the road and get to work and get all of my kids to school, but I still want something that's healthy, not full of sugar, and not full of carbs. Magic Spoon comes in tons of great flavors, including cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter, which is my favorite, plus other great flavors like cinnamon and blueberry, and Magic Spoon drops limited edition flavors all the time. Magic Spoon is also bringing back 2 super popular flavors permanently, cookies and cream and maple waffle.
Cookies and cream sounds amazing.
My neighbor Tommy, what's up Tommy? He's been doing Ironman training, and I usually run and bike with him. That means I'm doing Ironman training, and that's part of the reason why I'm trying to shape up my diet so I can keep up with him. So if you're tired of eating sugary cereal that doesn't actually fuel your body, click on the link in the description below and get your own Magic Spoon cereal today. You can even build your own variety box and use code Perkins to get $5 off. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that they have a 100% happiness guarantee. And that means that if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click on the link below and use my code Perkins for $5 off your order, or go to magicspoon.com/Perkins and save $5 on your order. Also, for my Canadian and British fans, Magic Spoon is now shipping to Canada and the UK. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video, and thanks for watching. Please remember to get subscribed. If you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.